Hi there. This is a quick introductory video to this 360-degree video prep tool. The purpose of the tool is basically to extract frames from video and then split them up based on field of view or into cube maps for use later in either post shot or reality capture for photogrammetry. So I'm just going to quickly run through the extractions and the way it can be splitting up the images as well, and I'll show you the new features that are being added on 1.4. We're using our familiar Park Road demo video. When you drag the video on, you won't get a preview. You have to extract frames to get that preview. I've added a new button here, so we can basically preview via time or by frames. You can end up with the same results, but sometimes for slow motion videos, it's quite useful to have that in. Also, you'll note I've now added in frames per second on the video information as you drag that on. And as you drag it on, the video will be listed here. So if I drag one of these on, you can see that changes to 30 frames. So we're reading the metadata of those files. Workflow-wise, you basically set the type of extraction you want to do. Be wary, and also the values of this will persist between sessions. So if you're doing lots of videos, then that can be quite useful. Workflow-wise, you set the type, then how you want it to extract. So if we're doing basically extract every single frame, you'll generate a lot of frames. So that's 2,000 odd here. Workflow-wise, you would tend to test that duration to see if the positions of the camera clusters that you're outputting are close enough together to get a good alignment. So if I switch this to time, and so we're going to extract one frame every 1 second. I also fixed a bug where you can set this now to smaller values, so 0.5, so every half second. That'll double the number of frames out as well. So I'll set this back to 1. So you set your time, then often to do the test, you'll extract less frames. So in this case, I'm just going to do 10 frames here. And you'll see as I'm changing this value, it's giving me the total tile output here for this particular preset that I'm on. And that's quite useful to if you're trying to hit a certain memory limit or something like that. So you can extract to PNGs or to JPEGs, and you can set the compression value here as well. Every time you extract, it will clear the data out because you could cause kind of issues with merging in different video files. So when I hit extract, this is going to extract 10 frames. It'll create a subfolder based on the video name, and then it's going to do an underscore frames there. And you can see these 10 frames extracting there. So every second works quite well at a walking pace. If you do it, say, every 5 seconds, then the frames can be too far apart in order to get good alignment between the features that are within them. And again, switch this back, the same workflow. I just want to extract 10 frames, but I want to extract every frame. So if I hit this again, I'll get 10 frames, but they'll be a lot closer together because it's doing every single frame. You can see a much smaller change value between them. Again, workflow works the same, and I can hit add max frames and it'll go back up to the number that we want there. And you can see though, if I did this, I would generate 2,331 frames. And if I split it, I would generate 18,000 frames. So be careful using these because you can generate a lot of data on disk. It does do a disk space check when you do the extraction for the splitting, I think, just to make sure you're not going to run out of disk space doing it. I put tooltips here as well, so that kind of explains everything, and that works through all the different languages as well. Please give me a shout if there's any issues with the languages. So once you've done your test frame, and also sometimes you'll notice that this will switch back to that, so just make sure you can extract the right number of frames that you want. Once you do the extraction, then your preview slider here will work, and then you can look at doing the masking. So I'll switch this back to every second. Just extract our 10 frames. You'll notice It uses the video name in the file name as well, and it will extract the maximum resolution that you have within the video, which you can see 5760 to 2880 is the resolution we have here. Okay, so once you've done your test in terms of that, you'll now want to split that up. I'll quickly show you, we have cube maps that won't have any masking in. So if you set it to cube maps and we just hit split, what that'll do is create a folder and we'll extract those images according to the type of preset that we're using. So there's also a strip method, and again, you can also use this if you want to have the individual frames. Sometimes you want that. So when you see this, you'll see this is all moving through. And so if we had individual frames on, or we do split again, what you'll do is you'll get the combined cube map, but we'll also get the individual frames as well. And those will be listed out as NX, NY, and I think that's in the README showing you which view that is as well. Most of the time I use these two quick previews. So the first one is using a bottom mask, and if we just split this out now, what that does is it embeds in the alpha a mask that can be used by reality capture and post-shot to exclude that particular information. It's not removed, it's only in the alpha, so if you load it up in GIMP or something, and you can see that the actual data is still there. What I found, if I just use this other video I've got here, again, once you drag it on, it will automatically go to max frames based on this. So again, I'm just going to set this back down to 10. Creates a new folder, same sort of thing. I've fixed some bugs within the extraction, so we slightly get better feedback in terms of how that's going and whether it's finished or not. So we're still on this quick preview mask. If I switch this to our vertical mask, just scrub through this. Using the bottom mask, you lose a lot of this data. You don't always need to use it. So just as a more of a sort of tip for adding in masks, you can combine the bottom mask and the vertical mask, which is quite useful. So as I'm walking around through here, it's only really this area and a little bit over there. So I turned on the bottom mask. I can then move this up just to the bit I need over my hand, and then I can move the vertical mask over. So we set the size of it here and then the position of it here. So I can drag this over and it will always kind of expand out from the center point of it. So if we move this down, increase this height a bit and increase the width. And so it's not a lot, but it can be useful. As we scrub through, always check that the mask is big enough. And the reason for the masking is that you being in the frame, not, you're moving through it, you essentially create ghost versions of yourself. It creates a lot more artifacts, it needs more cleanup. So the masking is super useful for that. And I've got something to be aware of for that as well. This one, and just do 5 frames just to extract here. Sometimes, depending on the angle which you're holding 360 camera, you will end up being split across the edge here. So again, if I just switch to vertical mask, what I've done is allow that mask to translate across both sides. So that's really useful. And then I'll just split this out and show you how this will look. Also be aware that I've got a split selected frames only as well. That's super useful, say if you're holding a camera in front of you and then you raise it up within the video and you only want to extract a frame range. Again, there's tooltips there for doing that. So if I split this, you'll see that in the masking, it's taking that from the equilateral image and then projecting it into essentially the sphere. So you'll get that mask in the right place. Obviously it's not going to stop the selfie stick I was using for the Insta1X, but it's very useful to mask yourself out. I've done this as a test and the shadow doesn't get baked in on those textures. It's sort of, PostShot's quite good at doing that. The set selected, you can just use like 1, 4, 5 to 50 or something like that. It's very flexible in what it can read. You don't have to put the full number in, even though we've extracted out to 4 padded numbers for the frames. So yeah, that's a quick rundown. I'll link to the much longer 30-minute video I did that goes through all the stages between post-shot and reality capture as well. And if you have any suggestions or bugs that you found, please put them in the comments of this video and I will pick them up as soon as possible. Thanks very much for watching.